Some have expressed concerns about small livestock, chickens and pigeons, rabbits, and things of that nature, in residential neighborhoods. What changes do you see and need for here in Cedar City in that regard?
When I first saw this one, I chuckled a little bit because I have three of the most noisy, smelly, and there we go, sorry. Noisy, smelly, and disruptive animals, types of animals you could possibly have in town, and those are children, right? With a few exceptions, I would wager that roosters and peacocks and the like are perhaps more noisy, and pigs and dairy cattle are probably more smelly. That being said, I do think, especially for an agricultural community and a community that prides itself on its rural heritage and its work ethic, I do think it's silly that pretty much all farming activity, all farming animals except for chickens are banned, yet you can have a few very loud 150-pound dogs, and that's not a problem. I would like to see, at the very least, some form of maybe conditional use permitting for people who want to have small animals that can demonstrate an understanding of noise abatement, smell abatement, and things like that, and then revocation of those permits if they're found in violation. I don't have a perfect solution for that yet, but I would like to see a discussion because I think a blanket ban citywide is not appropriate. That is, I think HOAs are a better vehicle for blanket bans. That being said, about 1 minute left.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Great.
I didn't give you.
No,
I
it's
didn't warn you.
okay. I was looking for that 1 minute. That being said, I do think some types of developments or redevelopment projects could look into agricultural identities, and I'll perhaps expound on this later as a remedy for some of the issues we've been facing.
All right, thank you, Tyler. Appreciate that. Adam, go ahead.
So my family's currently building a home in Equestrian Point, and Equestrian Point's designed for animals, for horses, for livestock, and that kind of activity. So while not that having large animals isn't suited for every lot, I think that the opportunity for families to have the types of pets and animals that they want it should be there. It took a while to review the city's nuisance ordinance, and it's pretty extensive, and I think I fell asleep about halfway through it, but because it was obviously written by an attorney. So it's quite extensive. If the city really wanted to get active in enforcing that ordinance, I think we're all in violation. And so I think that, but the biggest thing that I took from that is that you can't infringe on your neighbor's property rights. You can't infringe on their right to enjoy their property. So let's eliminate the restrictions on animals and just live by that. Be a good neighbor. Let your neighbor enjoy their life as long as it doesn't infringe on you. If they have a pet pig in their backyard, as long as it doesn't stink up the neighborhood, then why does it matter? If they have a horse in their backyard, as long as the horse is well taken care of, it doesn't infringe on you, then why does it matter? I think there's a proper role of government, and I think, but I think this is one spot that they might have overstepped. We shouldn't be creating a list of what's acceptable and what's not. We should just be focused on making sure that we're good neighbors and we're not infringing on other people's property rights.
All right, thanks, Adam. Terry's response, please, Jeremy.
At present, I do not believe any changes need to be made. Small animals help to maintain our rural community feel, and as long as citizens are respectful of their neighbors in caring for their animals, I don't see any problem with our current ordinances that address this.
Okay. And Craig's response, please.
Within reason, property owners have the right and are free to use their property as they see fit, as long as their use of property doesn't infringe upon the rights of other property owners. The current ordinance of 2 chicken per household is just fine and doesn't need to be adjusted. Having small farm animals in our neighborhood helps to preserve the rural feel of Cedar City, and I believe that we can count on our neighbors to do the right thing with and manage their animals.
All right. Don, go ahead.
Small livestock. I need a little bit more of a definition defined on that as to what determines a small livestock. Are we talking a small Shetland pony, or rabbits, or goats, or pigs, or anything else? I am not anti-animal. I've got a neighbor, lives on the other street across the road from me, has rabbits. It was kind of cool last summer when the rabbits got out of his yard and wandered over into my yard. I thought that was cool. My grandkids really love the rabbits. They were out playing with them and wanted to take them home, and we said, no, we got to take them to their real home. I agree with Craig's statement, and it kind of surprised me a little bit, where he said that basically that the property rights have, as long as it doesn't encroach on another property's rights. That's different from what he said in the past. I agree with that, though. When one desires encroach on another rights, and government must step in and lay the framework that protects families and their property. It's just that simple, I think.
All right, thank you. Does anyone want to make any rebuttal remarks to any of the comments? All right, Tyler, you'll have 1 minute. Please go ahead.
I've just got two. There was a misstatement in one of those. The current ordinance allows for 6 chickens, not 2. 6, however, is still not enough. I have 6 chickens, and my neighbors all wish I had 3 times as many because they love to give me their kitchen scraps and exchange them for eggs. The other thing, yes, it probably was written by an attorney. We like to put people to sleep. So that's it.